so that was talk about daring to be yourself, which is what I am going to be talking to you about this evening. What you just saw wasn't just a single dog daria, that was like a double, triple dog daria, because not only did I create it, but then I performed it, and then you saw it on video? Video kills dance like crazy, so that's a triple dog daria for, daring to be yourself. Well, this whole idea, daring to be myself, and where did I get that from? Well, when I was a graduate student at the University of Arizona getting my master's degree, all of the graduate students had to get together once a week to discuss different topics in dance or different issues we were having teaching or issues we were having, doing research and such. So one day the topic of discussion was, what do you believe it is to push the art form? So what do you believe that means, to push the art form? So they went around the room and we all kind of gave a stab at that idea, because it's a pretty deep idea. What do you believe it means to push the art form? So it came around to Marlene, who said, I believe that to push the art form is to dare to be yourself. The room went totally silent. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like grabbing a pen and trying to write down, wow, I believe that to push the art form is to dare to be yourself. Whoa. It was profound. I mean, this statement, this proclamation really meant something to me. It really resonated down in the deepest levels of not only how to push the art form, but just how to deal with life in general. But that's pretty wide, life in general. So let's take a look at this idea of daring to be yourself through the artistic creation process. So for instance, when I'm choreographing a dance, I have certain, creative impulses that come into my head. And so I act upon those impulses and I create dance, I create movement. But where's the dare come in? Where does the dare to be yourself come in? Well, for me, it means opening the floodgates and just allowing me, whatever that is, to come out. Now, sometimes when I'm creating, I have that impulse, that creative impulse, and part of my head goes, oh, no one would really be interested in that. And I've gotten to the point in my life now where I go, hold up, what was that? I go back to it, I figure it out physically, I do it, and it turns out every single time to be the right thing to do in the piece at that moment. Always turns out to be something good. That's when my dancers go, wow, that's cool. Thank you. So, I create a piece and I try to do my best to be as authentically me as I can in my choices of movement. So I create a piece and then I get to show it to others. Yeah, there's another dare, right? Yeah, because when you show your piece to others, you are opening yourself up to the possibility of negativity. So that's definitely a dare, right? For instance, you have an audience full of people who all have their own very unique backgrounds and their own very unique ways of seeing the world. So person A watches a dance and says, that was the most beautiful dance about swans I have ever seen. And the person sitting next to them goes, I don't know, I kind of saw worms crawling around in the dirt. They saw the same dance. They can see different things. And perhaps, the swans was a great thing, and perhaps maybe the worms were kind of icky. So, the same dance, it can mean two different things. For instance, I created a dance in graduate school, again, back in graduate school. And it was a jazz dance. And it had this concept. It was in two parts. And the first part, you had 9 women sitting on chairs, dressed to the nines, but bored out of their minds. They're just like falling all over the chair. They're dancing slowly around the chair and on the chair, under the chair. And obviously they're just bored to tears. So when that section ends, another woman comes out on stage and she says, "Is this what your last party and get together looked like? Did your friends seem bored?" And she kind of goes on like that, and she introduces the idea of what you need for your party is man-o-matic. And out comes this buff guy in his gym shorts coming out on the stage, looking all handsome and stuff, and she describes exactly what it is that man-o-matic can do for you. And she says, "Go ahead, man-o-matic, do your stuff." So he walks through the ladies, and they, of course, all fawn over him and fall down off of their chairs and whatever. And then the second section of the dance is a happy dance. They're all happy, it's great, everything's wonderful, and they end the dance by fighting over each other to who's going to get to man-o-matic first. Yeah? So, to me, this was pure silliness. This was absolute pure silliness. It wasn't to everybody. I was summoned into one of my professor's offices. I was sat down and I was lectured at how insulted this particular professor was at my work. Because she was insulted because what I was doing was I was affirming that sort of societal norm that the only way a woman can be happy is with a strikingly gorgeous man. And she went on lecturing me about it and about how she felt about it. I don't remember what she said after that because I sat there elated, trying not to show it, that I had insulted someone with my art. How cool is that? I was like a real artist now. So, but the question is, why was that cool? Because this was a negative thing. I had dared to be myself. I had put something out that I believed to be one way, and it was perceived in another way, in a very negative way. Well, perhaps, and this is another radical thought, that maybe when you dare to be yourself and you open yourself up to that possible negativity, maybe that negativity is actually a positive affirmation of who you are. Yeah? Because that's what it was for me. It was a validation that I had done what I set out to do. Even though I wasn't expecting negativity, but I had set out what I had been meaning to do, and I had done it being myself. So when you're in your creative endeavors, or when you're deciding what to put on for the day, dare to be yourself. Dare to let the floodgates open and be authentically who you are, and risk running into that negativity, because that can just tell you you're on the right path. You are doing what you need to do. You are daring to be you.